together for Josh Johnson.
The newest correspondent. He's an Emmy winner. He's got millions of followers online. Wired magazine called him the funniest guy on the internet, and that's a big place.
Josh is putting out a weekly special every single Tuesday on his YouTube channel.
I'm gonna have to sit there listening, watching the Super Bowl halftime show to Spanish. I'm gonna have to sit there with my guacamole and my chips in my lap, listening to Spanish.
His channel has gotten over 350 million views, and all this success has actually landed him a hosting spot on The Daily Show.
He has a dream that one day he will not be judged by the content of the Epstein files.
I can't stress enough how much I'm enjoying what I'm doing and like how obsessed I am with comedy in general.
This is What Now with Trevor Noah.
Do you remember you had a gag about that, Eugene, back in the day?
About Dexter?
There was what are you looking at? What are you doing?
I'm looking at something.
Do you remember there was a joke I feel like it was you. You had a joke about how it was something about like attempted murder.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Tell me more.
Oh man, I feel like the premise was something to the effect of you should get like more of a punishment for attempted murder than murder. Because like attempted, like you're not good at what you did. It wasn't you?
No.
Maybe it was me then.
That's so funny.
Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I've definitely been like, this came to me too easy. I wonder, like, is it somebody? And then I look back at my notebook and I wrote it and then forgot about it.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look and see if I ever.
This logic is solid though.
Yeah.
Because like if somebody hit you, if somebody try to hit you in your eye, they hit you above your eye, you get more mad. Because you tried to hit me in my eye.
My one was like, if we could figure out a way to make a body disappear, more murders would happen. Because it seems like a body, once someone is dead, that thing becomes very famous.
Oh, so if it just evaporated.
Yes. But now a body is very hard to disappear.
Huh.
If people roll it in carpets, put it in drums, pour acid over it, put it in dustbins to get rid of it.
Yeah. People will make the whole mess bigger, or they'll make the thing they gotta get rid of bigger. Because if you put a body in an oil drum, that's a bigger thing you gotta move.
You've got a problem.
Yeah.
And it becomes heavier.
I never thought of it like that.
No, my squat is already bad. So then just to
added
get the
oil
body,
drum.
because you also don't think, look, if you commit a crime of passion, you don't factor in you're going to be tired. So then now you've killed somebody.
I think first is regret.
Hopefully, if you're not like a sociopath. But even sociopaths only have so much muscle. So then now you're like, all right, I got to move the body. And it's like trying to move a body, I imagine, if you've ever caught a person, do you know what I mean? Like, if you've ever like tried to pick someone up.
Especially dead weight.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason they call it that.
Yeah, there's reasons why people wake their partners up from the couch.
Yeah.
Like, hey, time to go now.
Yo, gotta go sleep.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Because there are people that think they could pick people up because you pick someone who was excited up for sex.
If there was a crime that you had to commit, what crime would you trust yourself best to commit?
This feels like it'll end up in a deposition. Wire fraud, maybe?
Look into that camera.
Say it into that camera, please, Josh.
Because here's the thing about wire fraud. Everybody already does it by accident.
Wait, what is wire fraud again? In America,
to me, my understanding of like wire fraud is like misrepresenting a transaction.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And I'm pretty positive that that's most of Venmo. Like most of Venmo.
When you say like what your payment was.
Yeah, it's like you're lying.
Do you write the real thing?
I try to write the real thing so I remember the real thing. I've had to pay people before for like a service. Like I'll pay someone and it'll be like a studio, like a music studio.
Yeah.
And so I'll just say studio time. I don't say sandwich.
That's boring. You got to say sandwich, Josh. That's what makes Venmo fun.
What crime would you perform?
Is when you me?
Yeah. I feel like crime is a performance.
If I had to pick
it's
a
planned,
crime,
there's rehearsals, there's costumes.
If I had to pick what I think I would be best at, if it was committing a crime, I think I've always thought I'd be like a good getaway driver. That's what I would pick.
You love
So like
driving.
aiding and abetting would be
No,
your
no, getting away.
The driver. I'll just be the driver.
We jump in.
drive you. You know, like the transporter, those kinds
Yeah.
of. Yeah, I'm like, I think I would do that. I think I would be really good.
I'm just going off of the court term. Like I think you'd be like aiding and abetting a heist, like a robbery.
Wouldn't you just be part of it if you're the driver? Is that what they give you less of a sentence?
I'm positive they give you less of a sentence because sometimes there are people who have the plausible deniability of like, especially if you're just like criminals and we aren't boys. So then I get pulled in to do this thing. I can be like, hey, he put a gun in my head and said drive. I was just chilling.
But if there's 4 people that go, we did not.
You could also just say like you were just driving these people, but you didn't know why.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an Uber.
It's a very.
I wonder if you could get away with that.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could be an Uber driver who's planning to rob a bank with your crew.
Yeah.
You wait outside a place, they jump in, you run, and then
Is
if
the
they
app
catch
on?
you, no, but if they like you go like I thought it was my fare.
Yeah.
I wonder if that would. I wouldn't want you. I'd get you excused from my jury. That's what I would do.
That is also a thing.
You're a
that
skeptical
has
person
happened.
here.
Do you know what I mean? Like people have done a crime and then got in an Uber,
And
the Uber
taxis,
driver was like,
Ubers.
"Guys, I don't know this person at all."
But why did
Maybe.
he give you 5 stars? Nobody gives 5 stars. What crime would you commit?
I think already being a comedian, you're committing the biggest crime of them all.
Damn. By doing what?
Making them believe that what you say is real. You've thought about this.
No, when did that start, by the way?
What? Stand up.
No. No. No, I'm saying like, when did that start? Like,
You know, podcasting
yeah.
to radio presenters
Yeah.
is a crime. It shouldn't exist.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're thinking this is,
Mm.
I have a boss, I got voice training, I read. Then next thing you know what the thing is, which crime would you? Then they go, you know me, I work for a living. So already this, in another planet, alternate universe, it's a crime.
Yeah, but what I'm going back to is the stand-up thing.
Yeah.
When did that start?
I
don't know how long have you been doing stand-up, Eugene?
Sure, maybe labo ma omdrängt 50 years. Okay,
How many
so
years?
almost 17.
17 years, Josh.
I am at almost 13.
13 years. Yeah. So same 17,
Yeah.
17, maybe 18. No, we started at the same time. So whatever your number is must be my number. But I remember a time when like comedy was the thing that wasn't real and you would say it on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day comedy was the thing that was real that even if it wasn't real. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I feel like some of that happened with like Pryor because he was telling us his real life.
You think with Richard Pryor?
Yeah. And I think that he was telling us his real life and he was like giving us like cultural takes off of it in a way that it had been very Dangerfield up until that point. It had been very like, I have a shtick, or here's like my character on stage.
Yeah.
Or even if I am actually married, I'm not talking about my wife. I'm talking about the idea of a wife. And Richard Pryor was like, no, this is what I do when I'm not on stage. This is where I come from. This is also how I actually feel when you see me in the street and like something racist happens. This is how I feel about it. So then everything with Richard Pryor, even if he was embellishing now, he'd literally have to talk about like a person flying for you to not think he wasn't talking about his life.
Yeah, the talking dog or
Because he started talking about like his life. Like that was him. And I think even if people did it, before him, he was one of the first people to get popular doing it. So he gets kind of like a credit for doing it at such a high level.
Do you remember when your comedy became more about the real? Because let me think of when I first saw your comedy. First time I saw Josh Johnson's comedy, I think it was around just before when you joined the Daily Show, and you weren't surreal, but you were definitely doing stuff that wasn't like real.
Yeah, I was like very silly, and thank good you saw. Man, this man saw me just in time. If you had seen me a year ago, if you had seen me 2 weeks before, we wouldn't even know each other like this.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Because I was like, you start out and you're like a version of yourself, but you're like you're such a baby in the things that you like doing, and you're such a baby in like what you even know works for you. So now if you gave me like 10 topics and you told me to write 10 jokes off of them, or if you asked me if they relate to 10 stories in my life, I could find that, and I could find how that relates to an audience. If you did it right before you met me, maybe the day before you met me, I'd be like, I'm just keep working at the grocery store because this seems too difficult.
I don't know, man. I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you've always been I can't imagine you not being, not this version of comedian, but not this version of Josh. Like I'm yet to meet a good comedian who I don't think I could meet as themselves as a child.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Like
I've never heard that before.
Like what was little Josh like? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what it is now, to your point, is that I feel like it took me, if you want to talk about like a journey, it took me up until now to find the place in the jigsaw where I fit in. Okay. So it's like I've changed the way that people change from kid to adult, but I haven't changed fully. And so like it was me not fitting for the entirety of my life up until 2 years ago. And now I like everything I know to do that's like true to me makes sense now, as opposed to like I was a version of the story I told you when I was in college. I went to like my first bar and I was like, y'all, this markup bad. Y'all know if we just buy the bottle at the store, we could have y'all could get so much more drunk.
Easy.
And so I'm not even drinking, and I'm ruining everybody's time because I'm like, guys, no, y'all saw at the store where this bottle was $13, but the cocktail $13. So like, this is crazy, right? And then everyone's just holding their drink like, yeah. And now I know, now I know where to do that. And it's like
now you've aimed it.
Now I've aimed it to where it's like I'm not doing it all the time to everyone, to everything.
Yeah.
And I've aimed it at like, okay, this is a thing you say for stage. And not even every stage. Because when you do a comedy club, there'll also be people being like, oh yeah, they are making me buy 2 drinks at an insane mark. This is what you say for like, you're doing an outdoor event, you're doing a state fair.
It's like your inside voice and stage voice.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
100%.
Do you apply the same logic when you think of maybe you see a comedian or an actor, then you go, you know, your uncle tells the same stories and you pay him nothing.
You mean like about the funniest people?
Because you edit the markup, yeah.
You know, I used to think that, and then I started to understand, at least for me, the difference between being a comedian and being a funny person. So I often tell people and I mean this genuinely, I'm not the funniest person I have known in my life ever, like by far. There are too many people in my world where I go,
man.
Thank you, Eugene.
I've seen you. You have moments.
Thank you so much, Eugene.
When you put on the Puss in Boots.
Man, this is why you got to have good friends. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
When you're also in your insecure moments, I think you're the funniest. When
thank
you're like,
you so much,
how's
Eugene.
my afro today?
Oh,
Did I get the back?
That actually wasn't a joke, but okay, thank you.
Ooh,
that wasn't.
While we're on the topic of the afro, one thing I'm very jealous about with you is that, because this is my thing. Look, just between us, right?
Yeah.
I was doing.
I'm here too.
I was doing. I was doing an afro for a long time, and what I was doing was like not correct. Like it was like falling off of my head a little bit because it was getting so big that the right side was bigger than the left side.
Yeah.
And it was my mom would tell me I looked like a spaceship, right? and then Trevor goes all natural.
You know how bad your hair has to be for your mom to roast it? Because moms are the last people to ever see anything wrong about you in life.
Yeah.
And your mom was like, hey, what's going on, spaceship boy? What's up? If the Battlestar hasn't arrived.
I would go home and my mom would ask me what the plan was.
And this is how bad. Like, wait, okay, so I remember this afro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the so
it looked like a spaceship?
Then when you started growing out your hair, but you had like a plan. You were like, oh, okay, I'm gonna grow it out, and you were like reasonable about it. That was what like really clued me into what I was doing.
No. I think you're being kind. I didn't have because remember where it started. COVID was like the real kickoff, right? So that's the jump off. That's when my hair starts growing again.
Mm-hmm.
Up until then, I was like, you gotta cut your hair, gotta cut your hair, gotta cut your hair, gotta cut your hair.
Or for work.
Yeah, for work and for school and for like everyone tells you, cut your hair, cut your hair, cut your hair. There's a certain way to look. Cut your hair, cut your hair, cut your hair, cut your hair. COVID comes, can't cut your hair, can't cut your hair, can't cut your hair, cut your hair. Then we're like deep into the pandemic. No one's cut their hair. Then restrictions started like calming down a little bit. People were like, all right, maybe you can go to a barber, maybe you can. But I was like, I don't know, man. Don't want to sit in a chair and then people are coughing on me. And now I was like, I don't want to risk it for a haircut. There's no haircut in my world that is worth dying for.
Okay.
This is how you can tell somebody has a good face. Because they're like, there's no haircut
worth dying for.
No. You don't know, man.
Worth dying for.
When there are people, when you...
Josh is like, some of you should die.
No, I'm just saying that like this is a person who's put together where it's like, it's just hair. There are some people that are hanging on by a thread who are like, my hair, my suit gotta be, you know what I mean? Because they just know they're working with less.
I hear you. But what I'm saying is, this was death we were talking about. Remember this. This is death.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
You're going to booty calls, my man.
Yeah.
During COVID.
And what happened to some of them? They died because of that.
Some of them have babies.
Okay. But some
COVID
of them are dead.
babies.
Some of them are dead.
Those things are wild.
Yeah.
Ha! So this is what I'm saying is we were all on in this journey together, right? I think the difference between you and I was that because I was like on camera all the time, there were more people who felt like they couldn't just let me go on with like, it's like someone along the lines randomly was like, hey man, at least get a lineup. Mm-hmm. That's what someone would say.
Said that?
Yeah, someone would be like, same things you say to me. You'd be like, yo man, at least, come on man, at least.
Nina?
You know, people would be like, look like someone's child. Just look like someone's child. That's what they would say to me, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think the only difference between you and I is because you were not in front of the camera at that time.
Sure.
Nobody was like, you weren't shaming other people. You were just shaming yourself.
Yes,
with the spaceship box haircut.
Because it would be like, I would do like a virtual live show or like a whatever.
Yeah.
And then people in the chat would be like, hey, these are people who paid $1 to get into the thing. And they'd be like, hey, my man, like I know this time been rough on everybody. I know, like it would be like that.
Damn, Josh, you're a strong man. I would feel so insecure. Josh and I used to roll, and we both had, at some point it looked like the theme of the tour that we were on was unruly hair. But Josh's hair got so big and weird that sometimes he'd be on stage, and you know when the cameras like got a shot of you, the background would be black, but Josh's hair was so big it had 3 different colors. The hair closest to his head was the darkest, and then it would get lighter and lighter. But because of the background and the darkness of his hair, it looked like Josh there was nothing. No, it looked like there was nothing.
Yeah.
And on top of it, there was like a floating. He looked like he was wearing one of those Russian hats. You know those furry
hats? Yeah.
You look like you were wearing one of those Russian furry hats.
Because I did a thing that was just out of pandemic that was like, it was at the Cellar.
Yeah.
And they did a live stream / like taping of it. And they had extra lights because they had cameras. And so then those extra lights, I saw it later and I see what you were talking about. I was like, this is, and it
looked like you literally put on that hat. It was like your thing.
Yeah.
Josh, you're on in 5 minutes. Hold on. Let me get my hat.
Yeah. Because then I think when you, the first time you got a cut from how it had grown was when I was like, oh, life could be different.
Life's very different.
Yeah.
No, for you now, I mean, like life is very, very, life is different in every way I can think of. It's been so much fun watching it from my perspective because I've known like multiple versions of Josh in how life is like responding to you, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, no,
you know
that's
what I mean?
fair. That's
so
fair.
I knew the Josh who, I met you. You were already working at Jimmy Fallon's show when I met you, right?
No, I had just left.
Okay, so you just left.
So
but
I was
I mean,
just like touring.
But I knew you as like, okay, comedians like doing things and whatever. But you were this guy who was like, hey man, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm seeing what the world is gonna throw my way. I'm just trying to hustle. I'm writing a joke, doing a thing here. And then, then you went through the hair phase and it was like, all right, I'm still hustling. And also you see my hair and I don't know where this is going. Yeah, I don't know where this is going. And
not hair, it's a hat.
And then Josh went through this phase. Then Josh started lifting. You remember when you started lifting?
Yeah.
It was the time we had nunchucks.
Yo, This man,
Yeah, it was around then.
yo.
This is where it's a horrible time to meet a person, because he met me during nunchucks, which is also just like, oh, this is a guy
that is one of the most random moments to meet a human being.
Why did you with a chain?
Why did you have nunchucks?
I was like, look, you can't have a gun, but people are crazy in New York, and I don't know. Like we thought, like a lot of people thought it was like low key the end of the world. We were just being chill about it. So I was like, I need something,
and you thought nunchucks were the solution,
and I can't get a sword. And so, I'm like, let me just have something that's like a little bit. And then I saw the news report, because there was a news report about how they had lifted. There was like a nunchuck ban in New York City.
Yeah, there was for a while.
And then when they lifted it, I was like, hey, then we ride. And if I get good, then I at least it extends my safety one more arm. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, wait, hold on.
I could defend myself one more arm's length away.
Just one further.
Yeah.
I think if nunchucks worked, cops would have had them.
Sure.
No, but they do have they have a version of nunchucks.
The baton.
The baton is like a version of a nunchuck for a less skilled individual.
And you know why the baton works?
Because it's like idiot.
You know why it works?
No, because it's simple.
Let's let the nunchuck expert here tell us why a baton. Would you want to go in a fight with me if I had a baton and then you had nunchucks? Who do you think would win?
Here's the thing. Here's how I'll put it. Okay. The baton is more practical. The nunchuck is crazier. Would you rather fight someone who maybe isn't skilled?
This is what I'm talking about.
Or would you rather fight someone who you knows bites? Because nunchuck is the bite. It's like, I might hit you, I might hit me. I'm crazy.
That's why there's a phrase called blunt instrument, because anyone can use it. What you have is nunchuck requires a skill set. Me, if I'm angry enough with the baton, you are dead.
Yes.
You have to know a certain level of skill to manage nunchuck, because nunchucks are almost like a boomerang. Because people never account for the fact that you have to wait for it to come back. And it only comes back if it doesn't hit anything.
Yeah.
So boomerang goes, then it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Then you hold, what? Nunchuck is then you hope, better believe that you're going to be hoping it hits something.
Yeah.
Because it can also hit you. You've experienced that, nah? When nunchucks come back.
Are you good at nunchucks now?
No.
Oh, damn. What a waste.
Not at all.
Oh.
No.
I thought you at least got to like the arm stage.
I got to the arm stage, but the arm stage is that's a wrist away from me. I need to be good at you know what I mean? If I'm good at this, when you're really good at the Bruce Lee stuff, that somebody could still get very close to you.
Yes, but here's my thing with nunchucks. While you're going shoot you, that doesn't account for you hitting anyone.
No, it does. Because
hold
then
on. So
if
you
you're
hit
in
an
here,
object,
if you're in here, bow.
Like you swing it out.
Yeah, now you can't see it. So you don't know what direction I'm about to swing it from under my arm.
And let's say you hit me. Bam. And then what happens to the nunchuck that left? Because there's two of them. I mean, there's one that you're holding, and there's one that left.
That's the one that hits
me,
you.
What happens to the part that hit me?
The part that hit you goes down. But now that it's down, I can hit you in the back of the head.
This guy was in it. You know what I'm loving?
I've seen Josh with those nunchucks.
Yeah, you don't seem sold.
He self-defensed himself more.
Protected himself from himself.
100%.
You know what I'm imagining? I'm imagining the person who was walking through New York City, seeing you with your spaceship hair and the nunchucks. And then they were like, I need to go to self-defense training because New York is full of crazy people.
No, because I'll tell you right now, the hair saved my life. Because then I'm over here practicing, and I bought two practice ones. I bought one that was like foam, but the foam one is like, it's going to break in a day. What? Like you can't.
That's how dangerous these things are.
Do you know what I mean? The foam one you can't. So then you have to use the wooden one. Because I was never going to buy the metal one. Because the metal one, you could accidentally kill somebody, and now it's swinging from your hand, but you're like, and you wait for them to
accidentally kill someone. Aren't you trying to defend yourself?
Because the same way where you're trying to defend yourself and you know how to box, and then you punch somebody on the chin, right? Yeah. But you end up knocking them out, and they fall, and the way they fall, they die, right? It's like that could happen. The metal nunchuck is for murder, like that. That one I still don't think should be legal.
We'll be right back after this short break. This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Did you know that Apple Card is designed to help you pay off your balance faster with smart payment suggestions and
Because fees don't help you, Apple Card doesn't have any. That's right. No fees. So if your credit card isn't Apple Card, maybe it should be. Subject to credit approval, Apple Card issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Variable APRs for Apple Card range from 17.99% to 28.24% based on creditworthiness. Rates as of October 1, 2025. Existing customers can view their variable APR in the Wallet app or card.apple.com. Terms and more at applecard.com. This episode is presented by Whole Foods Market. Eat well for less. You know how Thanksgiving always sneaks up on you? 1 minute, you're eating leftover Halloween candy, and the next, everyone's arguing about who's making what for Thanksgiving dinner. Who are you talking to? Luckily, Whole Foods Market makes it easy to pull it all together. With great prices on turkey, sales on baking essentials, and everyday low prices from the 365 by Whole Foods Market brand, you can actually prep for the holiday without losing your mind or your budgets.
Yo, why are you speaking like that?
They've got high-quality organic produce and grab-and-go sides, which honestly save your life when you said you'd bring something and completely forgot to cook.
Is this an ad? Did you just teleport us into an ad?
The 365 brand is all about better everyday essentials, affordable pantry staples, baking must-haves, all the basics that still meet Whole Foods Market's quality standards. So whether you're hosting, contributing a dish, or just showing up hungry, Whole Foods Market has everything you need to make this holiday season easier and more delicious.
We're sponsored.
Shop everything you need for Thanksgiving now at Whole Foods Market.
Can we go back to the episode?
What's the first fight you were ever in as a kid? Like the biggest, like the fight you remember. Did you ever fight?
Yeah. So, well, fight implies a length that I made the fight continue. I was like beat up sometimes as a kid.
Yeah.
But like I would like try to fight back.
Who was beating you up?
Just other kids. Like it wasn't even like
were these like bullies, or were these just other kids?
Two of them were like bullies.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But the thing is, it's like the same awareness that I think a kid doesn't have of like where their elbow is, so they knock a glass over, is the awareness of like strength that I lacked for something I wanted to do. So like for instance, there was one time I like stood up to a bully. Like I really like stood up to him, and
what
it's
was
like
wait, set the scene. What was their name? We all remember our bullies' names.
I won't say his name. Yeah, I will say his name, but it rhymes with wheat.
Okay, wheat.
And so then you know, been picking on me.
So Pete is Pete the bully. We got Pete or wheat.
Man, you must know one. I don't know one. Anyway. But then
how old are you?
I have to be maybe 8.
Okay.
Or like 9, something like that. And I had enough of it, right? And I just like, and I even had like a little speech planned if he like came up on me, rolled up on me, messed with me, right? And so I said all the stuff, and then I like reared back, which he was also surprised by. Like this, and this also I could tell was a big kid because he was more surprised than threatened. He was like, "Wow, something's about to happen. It was crazy." And then I reared back and I punched him as hard as I could, and I managed to punch him like in the chin a bit, like kind of like back jaw, right?
Yes.
And then he like grabbed his face, because also when you're a kid and nobody's like really hit you or hit you back, it's surprising. So you know he's like, and then he walks away, and then as soon as he walks away, I'm like. Like I'm like grabbing my head because I hadn't like put it together that this would hurt.
Yeah, no one shows you. I mean, in the movie, they don't show you that.
And
for the
no
most
sound.
part, yeah.
And they're not hurt. Like Bruce Lee never finished the fight after everybody was down. Was like like that's never happened.
Jackie Chan did.
Yeah,
he was the honest fighter.
He's what got us closer to John Wick.
Yeah,
because John Wick will end a fight and be like, oh god, like.
I still don't like that he got hit by a car and carried on. That always threw me. John Wick.
Didn't he jump a bit?
Man, I don't know.
He jumped a bit though.
I don't know. You know what? I really like John Wick.
Yeah.
The movies.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing
also
I
like
didn't.
The Matrix.
Yeah, but
and it's the same guy.
Yeah, but the difference there is it's not the real world. So John Wick gets hit by a vehicle, and then he just gets up.
Which one is not the real world again? Between John Wick and the Matrix.
No, the Matrix is not the real world.
Oh.
What I'm saying is in John Wick.
John Wick is the real one.
You know what, Josh, let's carry on.
So a geriatric version of Neo.
Josh, let's carry on. This guy's trying to...
Where instead of being led by a black man, he's led by a dog. Is more... But much more real than the Matrix.
He's in... Because they said it wasn't anyway. So, wait. Did the bully ever come back?
Oh, yeah. Different day. But
oh,
yeah.
Damn.
And then by then
So this isn't like a victory story. This isn't like Josh Johnson.
No, I won a half a battle and I lost the next battle. Like it wasn't even a war. It was just like because I was just an easy target too, because I think I'm openly like sensitive and I am not like a big guy. So I never had a big frame growing up.
Yeah.
So even in high school, the people who picked on me was like, yeah, it's like easy pickings. Like I look like I almost don't exist in my clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're sweet.
Poetic.
You're timid in your vibe.
Sure.
Like just as Josh, as I've always known you, you're really considerate. You're perfect like bully fodder in that way.
And it doesn't help that I was always like like when your head is down from reading, you're a perfect target for anything. I'm like reading all the time. I'm like reading for fun. And so now I genuinely don't know what's about to happen until the book gets slapped up my hand. And then I look up and I'm sure any bully that saw me was looking at me and I was looking at them like just because I'm the shock of like the book's on the floor, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and I don't think I like carried an awareness for defense enough ever really until maybe like I really became an adult. Even being in Chicago, I was like, look, apparently, you know, especially when you go to like some clubs where like on the South Side and people would either know something happened or people would say something had just happened at some point. And so I was like, all right, like I'll be fine. I'll just run. And then whatever bullet hits me was meant for me. Do you know what I mean?
You were never about that life. You were never like, I'm going to stand up, fight, do a thing, handle it. No,
even when I tried to like roll with other kids that were like tough, they were even like, you're too sweet for this thing. Like, you're not like a tough, like even kids in my neighborhood would be like, yeah, but you're not like.
I like that.
You know what I mean? No,
I genuinely, you know.
I at the time, I looked back on it as like, why is everybody, so what is it? Why is everybody so like patronizing?
Yeah.
And now I look at it as if like almost, and you know, whatever, this is gonna sound however it sounds, but it's like almost by like some truly like divine design. Everybody that was in my life was put in my life for a reason, helped keep me on the right path. Even when I wanted to do something bad, they made it so it's like I didn't even have the opportunity. Like I did, all these things came together. Even the people who like pushed me out of their life, it's like their life went in like a horrific direction. So it's like they pushed me. It's almost like pushing someone out of the way of a car because I'm like I'm trying to like roll with this kid or be like this kid, and then this kid is like, hey, this is like not for you. And then something even ends up happening to that person or they go down a worse path or something. So now everything that's happened, like I can be nothing but grateful because like at the time, I'm sure, especially when I used to, this is gonna sound self-deprecating and it's not meant to be, but like the realization that I've come to about myself, especially over time, is that like all of the things about me that I like and that people like are because I'm not like conventionally cool. Like I'm not like a cool guy who is like wow, I want to be like that guy the way you want to be like James Dean. Like I'm not that I'm not that type of guy. So if I stop trying to be that type of guy and I just like, hey, look, I like Rubik's cubes, I like comic books, I like, and you just become, it's things we've been taught since we were little, the best version of yourself, the best, like the most honest version of yourself. That's where all of your like cool will come from, because everyone who likes those things will be like, wow, you openly like those things. Like I'm over here doing the Rubik's Cube when it used to get slapped out your hand. And now people on the internet are like, he did it in 0.4 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
now it's become
but it's like if you're like an OG of that thing, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't even good. So now watching me do the Rubik's Cube was a waste of time. Because it wasn't like I was like, hey, Trevor, you want to see something cool? It'd be like, hey, Trevor, you want to see something cool? Can you mess it up again? Can I restart? It's like that. But then, like I said, everything in life led me to the point, at least in the feeling of about 2 years ago, where everything fits into place. I felt like I fit in at different points in my life. When I lived in Chicago and started doing comedy, I finally had the conduit. I finally had the vehicle for all these things I had ever been and ever done and ever talked like and
okay.
And then found my people. And then moving into New York felt like, it did feel like a mistake for the first 6 months. It did, genuinely, it felt like maybe I had made a mistake until I got hired at Fallon. But everyone that I was meeting, I used to do storytelling open mics, comedy open mics. I used to do variety shows, all stuff like that.
Were you working at that time doing a job, as they say?
Yeah, I was working at a grocery store.
In New York?
Yeah.
What type of grocery store?
The Trader Joe's variety.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
Everything. I was a cashier. I did everything but fill orders because I was like, y'all, if you make me, because they would try. Anytime you have a good attitude and you're on time, so people start trying to give you more responsibility because they're like, this is the person that won't mess it up. But I'm like, y'all, I know my limit. And if you put me on freezer, y'all are going to have 6,000 ice creams and no frozen turkey. I'm telling you that right now. I don't have that attention to detail, And so I was cashier, didn't want to become a manager, didn't want to become an assistant manager.
Why not?
Because in my head, I was like, I thought I had found, and I'm glad I was wrong because I wouldn't be here now. But I've worked at a couple grocery stores and I've worked, odd jobs and stuff like that. And I found that at least in most situations, I can be happy. And so I was making enough to live, but I hadn't met any of my goals yet. But I was still doing stand-up at night. And so I was happy, even in unhappiness, happy. You know what I mean? You deal with terrible customers or you're low on money, so you got to eat. Dude, I've talked about this before, but I knew I was broke in Chicago when they put the door knocker thing for the pizza on there. My roommates and I, we see it's a deal because this place just opened.
Yeah.
It's 3 pizzas for $15. So it's every pizza $5, whatever. We each order a pizza. We get violently sick. And I knew I was broke because I was next day, I'm going to eat one more slice and then I got to be done with this place. But in the off chance I was just sick. And then my roommates even what do you mean you were just sick? We all threw up. And I was like, yeah, but look, maybe this slice will be different. And then I'll throw the box away. But I don't have money to just
I gotta
waste.
give the slice a chance, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I just found that I was happy. I was so happy in Chicago, literally just making ends meet. Could not even save money, but I was doing stand-up at night and figuring myself out and everything. And I feel now it's just a reminder to stay in that place, even if circumstances change. Because now it's okay, I'm not completely broke, but what do I need? And it turns out I don't need much. If I can take care of my mom and take care of my aunt and just take care of myself and my girlfriend, put on good shows, nothing else really matters. So that I don't really need that much money. And so now if you don't need that much money, you don't need to do whatever. So now some of that noise gets shut out a little bit because sometimes you'll be in a situation where somebody wants you to do this thing, somebody wants you to do this thing. And if you don't really know what you want, you might end up doing it and not liking it or looking back on it and not liking it. And I'm not saying I love everything I've ever done completely, but the path that the internet and the people that I'm meeting along the way have allowed me is to do things that are completely consistent with how I feel about how my career should go and building a catalog that I think will stand alone.
Something that you're proud of because you wanted to do it for the reasons that you wanted to do it, which is a unique moment to get to. As an artist, but I think as any human on this planet. I was thinking about it this morning, exactly what you're saying. I was in the shower and I was going, are you picturing me in the shower now? So I was in the shower and I had this thought genuinely where I was going, it's hard for people to understand. It's hard for any of us to understand this. Because money is oftentimes the thing that connects you to all choice, power, whatever it might be. But pursuing money is almost the worst direction you can ever take, right? If you say to yourself in life, I'm going to pursue money, you could just take money out of an old lady's wallet. Then the money is there now, right? I think what we haven't been taught for the most part, because society doesn't oftentimes tell us enough, is that money, especially in a well-functioning society, money is a byproduct of a job well done.
Yeah.
You know? And so if you have the luxury of doing the thing that you love doing and you get to do it well, you'll find that money somehow slips into your ether. It starts to come in. And that's, like I say, in a well-functioning society. As capitalism goes extreme and it deteriorates in its late stage, people now can only earn money from certain things. But when I look at you, I go, it's the perfect example. Like, you'll tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this version of Josh Johnson, like the person we know you as today, you couldn't exist the same if the internet wasn't what it is now.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, and I think about that a lot because I had found some mainstream and like legacy media success, but not enough to live the way that I'm living or make the choices that I make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had done Fallon, I had done Conan, I got like a Comedy Central half hour. I've done the route. Like, I got New Faces for JFL. Like, I did a lot of the route stuff you're supposed to do as like an up-and-comer.
Because all the stations along the way,
And then there's a place that you end up. For some people, it's after they do JFL New Faces. For some people, it's after they get their half hour. And for some people, it's like even after they've been on a sitcom or something like that, where now there is no more up and coming. You've come.
Yes.
And so what does that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just
like
here. You can't
you're
win
just
Best New Artist anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
they give it to you one time. And if you lose the time you're up for it,
that's
it.
You're
also not gonna, you're just, look, I'm new to people, but I'm saying like the ways in which an industry could elevate a person along the way, I had got a lot of that stuff, and then there was a gap between, does he have his own show? Is he writing a show? Is he selling shows? Is he a touring headlining comedian? And so there was a gap there. The internet closed that gap. The people closed that gap. And that's why I have a bit more confidence, because one thing I'll say about the era that we live in now versus even 25 years ago is that the industry used to be able to close that gap for you. They're like, you are this A-list star, and we're going to treat you like this A-list star when you're actually really young, just because we, like, as a studio, believe in you.
Yeah.
And you used to just be signed to like one studio.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the industry used to close that gap. But then if industry betrayed you, blacklisted you, you'll see McCarthy stuff, whatever. Once that thing happened, you didn't have connection to the people. So even if the people liked you, they'd be like, oh, why have you been in a movie in forever? And
you've been
like,
blackballed.
Because no one picked up my calls and no one's calling me. But that can never happen again, because like if you have connection to people and if you've built community, then you'll always be a version of what you're doing now, especially if you're not doing it to be number one. And the thing that we're lucky about, what makes us different from sports, is that like there can really be no number one.
Yeah.
And so it's like, because there's no number one, you could just be like your number one. You can be like the best you. And for some people, like that, like for plenty of people, Trevor Noah is like the GOAT of comedy, right? And it taps into their sensibility. Your timing is their timing of how they think. Your humor, it connects with everyone that follows you, that believes that you are like the best of all time. There's going to be a Chris Rock is the GOAT, Dave Chappelle is the GOAT, like go. But because it's not a foot race,
There is no clock.
As long as you don't, there's no clock.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't convince yourself that there's a clock, you can just carry on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I want to be the best like comedic writer ever. I also know that's not going to happen, but I know that it will happen in someone's mind that connects with my work, and that's enough. And I really want it to happen. I want it to happen in the way where everybody says it. It's not going to happen. But like at the same time, chasing that, now like money is like.
But that's what I mean.
You know what I mean? Like,
it sounds to me like you fell in love with the process, essentially.
Yeah.
Because the process is like the reward that will always yield a return, right? If you fall in love with the process in your life, then the outcome just becomes the bonus at the end of it, you know? And I've seen this with friends who like cooking. Like, they try to get me into cooking because I like food. I like eating food. And then they would go like, you should learn how to cook. And then when I would try to learn how to cook, even if it came out right at the end, I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I like eating the food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because when you eat the food and you didn't cook it, you're not sweaty.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Now
you
a sweaty version of me
this
is
what
eating
I'm talking
the food.
about, man.
Jabby?
I'd just be like, yo, man, I get to the end of this journey.
What are you guys cooking?
But if you... What do you mean?
That makes you sweaty.
Oh, it's just process.
You know how it is, man. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Oh.
You don't sweat when you cook. Maybe that's why
What are you guys cooking?
Just anything.
So give me an example of what you made that made you go, hey.
Okay, one day I was trying to make a stew. I've only tried it once. And one time I was trying to make a stew. And then it just involved me with a pot, with water, with ingredients, with the thing. I had to
close the lid?
I had to keep opening the lid to see what was bubbling. I had to keep closing the thing.
That's normal? That's part of cooking?
Yeah, and in that process...
How close were you to this lid?
I wasn't measuring, Eugene. I wasn't measuring my distance to the... Maybe this is why I'm not a good cook. I was just like opening and closing.
It would be very funny if you were laid it in too close. And you were like, man, cooking is hot.
I'm like,
I don't know why. Yeah.
No, but what I mean is like, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking or not liking certain things. But I think people take for granted that if you fall in love, if you find a passion for the process, then the outcome just becomes a bonus. And if you love the outcome, then your joy is always going to oscillate between good and bad, good and bad,
but that's
good and
also,
bad.
I think that point of view is a privilege. We've had this conversation, but in another form.
Yeah.
I'm always like, that point, making that point, you can only make it from a point of privilege. So if people with a skill, a rare skill, a talent, like a surgeon who earns hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, can say, you know, I just like operating on people, but you're like, no. I don't know what I'm going to eat tonight. So you can pursue your passion.
Yes, when you talk about money, for
No,
sure.
yes. So I'm talking about money versus when people say, no, yes, just I love the process.
Yeah.
So the average person, I think, this is my opinion, does not have the luxury to think about their passion.
Yes.
But they're thinking about, what am I going to do now? What am I going to eat now? And obviously, when you tell the story about how you grew up and when you were eating the pizza that made you throw up, if someone would have walked into that dorm room while you were eating $5 pizza and told you, just enjoy the process, not about the money.
Yeah.
My man.
No, that is what people said.
Yeah.
They were like that. Like that's.
And what did you feel?
No, but I guess I'm thinking also once again from privilege. It's either privilege or experience, because I think saying fall in love with the process is a thing that comes from the experience of like, if you have. Sometimes it's just good advice from somebody who did it the other way. So yes, it's from like a point of privilege to say like, don't worry about money. And I'm not saying don't worry about money. I'm saying people have put me in a position where I don't worry about money the same way. So I'm
also
not,
saying,
yeah.
I'm also saying, I don't necessarily, I think it might be a luxurious way of experiencing your own mind, but I don't think it's an unattainable luxury, right? And here's why I'll say this. When you started comedy, if you remember your journey, it was not paying anything. Comedy literally paid us there wasn't even an idea of the possibility. When we were doing comedy in South Africa, starting out, the concept of getting paid by anyone or anything.
To do comedy.
Yeah, we paid to do comedy. There wasn't even like a $20, well done. No, that came over time, right? But we fell in love with the process. And what I mean by that is, I don't think everything has to be contained in one space. Right? So when you look at somebody who likes knitting, I would always be fascinated watching somebody knit. And I'll go like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm knitting. And I'm like, oh, are you trying to make something? And they go like, well, sometimes they even go, I'll see what it is. I'm just starting with this block for now. And then it will grow into something else and it'll become something. And then I'll decide what I want to make. But they go, I like knitting. Knitting is the thing that they actually enjoy. On the other side of knitting is the garment that you've created. Right. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so what I'm saying is, it's noisy. That's why I completely agree with you. It's noisy. It is hard to appreciate process. It is hard to appreciate passion when you're hungry, right? But it is those people sometimes who are the ones that'll make you, the ones who can do it in those moments. They're sometimes the people who inspire me the most because they can and they do. Like when my family was at its worst, my mom loved gardening. We didn't have anything. We did like literally, I remember nights where it's like we're eating more punny worms because it was like the cheapest thing we could buy. It's like a dried caterpillar type. Well, how would you, is it caterpillar? Yeah. That's like the only thing we could afford for a moment. Then at some point, we couldn't even get more punny worms. All we could get was morojo. That was like it. And this isn't like it's not years in my life, but like a few months. I just remember we couldn't afford meat and we couldn't afford a certain type of protein. And so now we're buying like grass, essentially, is how it seemed to me as a kid. Because when you introduced this to me late in life, I'm just like, this is...
They're eating kale and quinoa all day.
It's ironic, by the way, because I remember the first time someone came with kale in America, and then I was like, I'm not going back. I escaped this trap. I'm not going back to this.
So good.
But morojo and kale are I still think like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing that amazed me was she still found joy in her processes. Just doing something in a garden, going and I think like that's what you're talking about. Like when I listen to you, there's an element of Josh Johnson that's just like you're just like obsessed and in love with the process that you're pursuing.
Because then it's like the thing, I guess if you were to put yourself back in different moments, right? Because don't get me wrong, it's never lost on me that like I am the exception and not the rule. And so I even tell people, I'm like, look, everybody's on their own journey. I don't want you to think that like there's some aspect of if I can do it, you can do it. And then there's also an aspect of if I can do it, you can do it being weaponized to keep people in a bad position.
I hate that if I
do you
can
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, because people have said that to me who were tall. And now I'm like, what do you mean, dunk? And they're like, look, you work hard enough. You work on your game. If I can do it, you can do it. Swish. And then I'm like, all right, I believe you. And then brick, because I actually can't. And I also, to be fair, don't love basketball enough to like learn and fall in love with process enough to even see if I can, right? But now if you're talking about If you're talking about a system where people can make their money or just have like a life, there's just
have what they want.
It's so much more profitable to keep that as a carrot that you hang in front of someone than it is to just let them have it. Because if everyone's okay, less people are rich, which is like a side note thing. But the process thing that I'm fall in love with and that I think is like so important is that it started so much longer before anything was working out. The same way that like I've been my like the way that I've been myself and like weird and it did work for like all of life until like a little bit of college it worked. Because a little bit of college, I'm finally meeting people who are also kind of like me. Then it worked in Chicago. I started doing comedy. That's the thing I should have been doing this entire time. Then it worked for a little while in New York. And then like I had my ups and downs. And now it works in a big way because I'm finally like doing everything I think that I was meant to do.
Yeah.
And so the reason I say
meant to do.
Yeah. Because then I think that it started in Chicago when I started doing comedy, but I'm working at the grocery store and I'm like working on bits all day, but then also having conversations all day. Cause so you would be on register for like 2 hours.
Okay.
They do a 2-hour block. So now I'm talking to people and I'm not necessarily like running bits by people, but I am like getting to know, you get to know your regulars, you get to watch stuff. And now it's like,
it's your audience.
You're just feeding off of like, all these interactions that are so interesting, and especially if you decide to be personable, because I worked with plenty of people who decided to like be miserable in that moment. But in my head, I'm like, guys, I'm here. I'm like, there's nowhere else I can be. And so this is either a waste of my time, which means it's a waste of my life, or it's my life. So now I'm just here. So then let me talk to this person, ask them how their day is. Let me like, have you had these? Because I haven't had these. I know that's bad to say because I work here, but like, are these good? Because I'm gonna get them if they. And now I become the person that's personable enough that people got in my line. And so now you build a rapport with these people. And then when I'm over here stocking the freezer, stocking the fridge, I'm thinking about bits, or I'm thinking about what people said to me.
Yeah.
So now when I go up in Chicago, everyone's like, oh, you don't ever repeat, or you don't ever, and it's like, because I'm excited about what this thing is that happened today, or I'm excited about building on this idea that I had last week, but now I've reworded it, or like whatever. And so it seems like a wealth of like, oh, you must just be writing all day. And in my head, I was like, I am, but I'm not. Like, it just came from such a genuine place. It didn't become more like proper writing until Fallon, because I was a monologue writer at Fallon.
That's when you had to get into the craft of it.
Now it's like 150 jokes a day, or or you're even writing. When I was at Fallon, I was so thirsty to get a joke on. I was writing jokes in the hope that like Jimmy got lost in the building and then like wandered in my office and was like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm great. I got a whole page of jokes. You know what I mean? Like I'm like going crazy, because also it's like your first job, so you're extra, and
it's
like
a major job.
Major job, yeah. And then I got hired at Daily Show. Like when you hired me, I was like, okay, this is a chance, especially because of how collaborative the process is. This is a chance to take everything I've been writing, all the ideas I'm always having, all the conversations that I have, and like hopefully apply them in real time to whatever the news of the day is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it like, I was writing at Daily Show, which then taught me how to tell stories better of things that people had no context for. So like watching you, I was able to be like, oh, you know what? Like there's this thing that happened to me that people won't have any frame of reference for. How do I tell them about that? So when you would talk about South Africa, or when you would talk about your travels, and you're talking to Americans who are the perfect audience of like untraveled people, like everything is new. They'll be like Malta, is it chocolate? They we don't know, because it's like, because also you were the first person that like showed me how big the world was in a way, and like talking to you, talking to Celaboho, talking to all these people showed me how well the world gets on in spite of, and sometimes without, the U.S. Because growing up here, you're like, this is the lie that keeps things the way they are, maybe forever, is that you are taught that the U.S. is number one. We're number one because we deserve it. We're number one on merit, but we're also number one in everything. And so if anything is bad here, best believe it's worse somewhere else in the world, because they're not even as good as us. So if you are hungry in America, imagine how hungry you'd be in Mexico. Imagine how hungry, and you could even point at other Western countries. It's like they would do, like I had teachers that would do this, where they'd be like, Australia nice and everything, but what do they build? What adventures do they have? Like, because it teaches you to have like being, I don't even know where you learn it, but like being the center of entertainment, especially, and entertainment being such a strong, like a strong conveyor of stories and stuff like that. It teaches you a sort of American excellence that probably even used to be earned, but then has slowly been slipping away over time. And now your assumption is that no matter how bad things get here, we could have like a civil war, and you'd still point at another country and be like, well, they're having a coup. And it's like, yeah, but look at the 99 other countries that are fine today on like a regular Wednesday. And so rather than teaching you out of your supposed like excellence and number one, because it's also a very inconvenient truth that like the number one title comes from like, just like a boxer who's number one and has a team that's built up of people from all sorts of backgrounds with disciplines. There's a number oneness that gets lost in that, oh yeah, well, we needed the scientists to come here. We needed the engineers to come here.
Yeah.
We taught some of our people, but then they went over and learned from other people and then came back.
Yeah.
Number one is just number one because we're number one. And so then that keeps people in the thing of like, you'll see where another country, another Western country as well. So you don't even have to worry about like communism, socialism, whatever. Another Western country will figure something out and we still won't change. because the idea of looking at someone else as an example is unacceptable. And so being around you and being around people who had like a different experience of life, being around Joe Opio, being around all these people was the first time that I was like, not only is like the world obviously much bigger, but like comedy is so much bigger. Because now it made me curious enough to like start watching comedians where I just needed the subtitles. Because I was just like, let me just like.
Yep, Joe Opio subtitles. I'm with you. We got to get a dig in at Joe. Come on, man.
I said all that to say that like. It's not lost on me that not only have I been incredibly fortunate, I've been given a lot of opportunities. And then even within those opportunities, I was like put in the right place at the right time to have the right experience to make what I'm doing now possible.
And that's the part. See, that's the part where whenever you get great advice about pursuing your passion, no one ever says at the end, that's the long way of saying, do the thing that you can when you can. Then someone might select you to be the person that can and ends up becoming the person that will. And also what I realized was when you were telling your story, because I worked in retail for a long time, and I realized I had the most amount of fun doing comedy when I was in retail before I knew it was comedy. Mm-hmm. There was no pressure. You had to refresh your jokes. Yeah, there's someone coming in and out all the time, but they've seen you so many times and you can't say the same thing to them. And there you are now at Fallon. Now you're doing this thing for a living. Mm-hmm. And they've said to you, you don't have to worry about the money now. Just do this thing. And then all of a sudden it becomes difficult. And I thought there was a phase where comedy was making fun of people that are doing their best to try and survive. You know, there would be times people like, hey, imagine have you guys coming back from work? Hey, work, how's work? Ooh, every day, traffic. And I'm like, yo, when did we get here? Mm-hmm. Like I started hating the way I was doing some comedy because I'd realize it was all about, for me personally, it was about fitting in. Because even in retail, when you're working there, you realize that you're not fitting in here. Then when you get out, you're like, how shitty was that job? Mm-hmm. But it came with how people measure success, maybe. You know,
and it also just comes from a place of like, this is how you're supposed to feel.
Yes.
And it's like, if you keep falling for how you're supposed to feel, I mean, that's very convenient for someone. You'll keep buying what you're supposed to buy. You'll keep voting for who you're supposed to vote for. And then you just have to, there's a level of curiousness that I understand that when you're hungry, because I've been hungry. Yep. When you're hungry, you're thinking about hungry. So you're not thinking about some of this like the hoity-toity stuff, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a dumb person. It doesn't make you less than. It's just literally that's why it's so convenient and so important to keep you like not just down, but like to keep a controlled. I started working on this bit a long time ago, and I did not like finish it in a way that's like worth it. Maybe I'll get there one day. But I'm like, you don't get paid to do your job. You get paid not to riot. They pay you just before riot.
Yes, but
if they paid you any less, you'd riot, and they know that. So they're like, because you got to remember, especially in the U.S., we did have slavery, and they've slowly been trying to get back. As soon as they lost it, they were like, that was some good stuff. That's crazy. It's like having antimaterium in Black Wakanda, Panther. Yeah. And so it's like, imagine they took all of it away. You got to use regular metal now. And you're like, guys, I'm getting shot. Like this is bad. It's getting through, right? So now I'm coming from a place of like, I understand that even if we're not even going to get like conspiratorial with it, right? Even in the way that we say left and right works as a function to keep us at the tug of war and the middle of the rope in the middle, because the fact that like it can't be lost on us that like somehow everyone, as in one person, is a full representative of the right, and every one person, just one person, is a full representative of the left.
Yeah.
So based on algorithms, after something happens, whatever you want to picture, you are by algorithm and by who you've chosen to follow either served contempt or compassion.
Yeah.
And you are served contempt or compassion, as in that is the way it is. This is your window into the internet. And your window isn't wrong, but it's not the full picture. So then you'll say, everyone on the left is doing this, everyone on the right is doing this. And then someone who argues with you, they saw a different mix. They saw a different cocktail of compassion and contempt. So now they are being like, no, that's not happening. This is what's happening. Both are happening. Everyone is everything. You can have QAnon or Blue Anon or whatever, and I'm not making like false equivalencies. I'm just saying that like we're all capable of like everything. That's what makes a person a person. And so I think that keeping you there keeps you broke. Keeping you there keeps you like, you know, complying without realizing you're complying, or like, and so when someone especially is trying to like follow a passion and someone says, don't necessarily worry about the money, you're going to be worried about something. Because now that I'm not worried about the money, I worry about the quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always going to be something that you want to do.
So that is a thing that like pops out at me where I'm like, I don't know when I'll be like, because you don't, like, your body tells you when you get old. You don't say a number and go, I'm old now. You get out of bed and you pop. Okay, let's go. You're like, I'm not used to popping. And that's what quality does.
There we go. Let's go back to complying. You said, say that thing you said again about complying. We're trying to resist to comply?
No, it's just what keeps you complying is that like, it's very easy if Trevor wants something, right? And what he wants is the last slice of pizza, right? It's very easy for him to get that last slice of pizza that we could all three have if he keeps us distracted fighting about the pizza. Now I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and he's eating, right? And I feel like that's how a larger portion of every political game and every like socioeconomic game works. And I think that by me being, you know, left and you being right and us arguing and only focusing on each other, you forget that like we were initially fighting over the pizza. And now where's the pizza? It's gone. Well, it's gone because it's your fault. No, it's your fault.
You know, I think society made that argument very easy for politicians and people who run countries after COVID because we got to see what class really is.
Yeah.
It happened in real time. Rich people did not die in droves.
Because you also saw Madonna in that bathtub. And I was like, that's going to radicalize somebody.
Yeah, some countries and
Madonna
some people...
being in that bathtub...
During
and
COVID?
then her being like, oh, we're all going through it. I'm like, not the bathtub.
Oh, man.
Guys, if I need you, I'm telling you right now, if we're ever having a global crisis and I post a video in a bathtub talking about how we all struggling, I need you to call me.
There were a lot of people. Yeah, there were a lot of people who were out of touch in that moment.
Yeah, but I'm saying that in a grand scale, that's what you're experiencing as inequality and someone having to look at the other side and go, I'm stuck here.
I'll even pitch you this. Take like any sort of like Hollywood example, acting, comedy, whatever, right? Yeah. This is also how it happens. I'm not speaking to the merits of anyone's talent. I'm just saying what I've noticed is that there will be a certain amount of positions. There'll be like the DEI positions, right? And you can also tell that the DEI positions, as people get at DEI, this is the thing that tells people like, this is how many we're going to do.
It's like it's the quota.
Yeah, it's like this will be the quota.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why you get mad at DEI because they've already basically said we'll only get 20. So like you won't have to worry about them taking your job. Maybe you, but like as a large swath of the industry, we're gonna let 20 in, right? So now people are mad at these like DEI jobs only established to try to like find some sort of base, all the stuff we already know. But then people are mad at them. These people now feel like they have to prove themselves. They're mad at the, you know, the other people coming at them, everything. Meanwhile, there is no quota and there is no number that is capped for the amount of like legacy kids that get into the right colleges or Nepo babies that get the job or whatever. And it's like that thing. Obviously some people are waking up to that fact and being like, oh yeah, why are there only 20 spots for anybody? Forget DEI.
Yeah, right.
And it's like that, but that's also part of the game.
But that's what a quota does. A quota exposes how many spots are no longer available to those it was available to before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually.
So now you can quantify it. You can count. Oh, 20 people used to be there. Now they're not anymore because these people are there. Quotas are never about if the person can do their job or not, because I'll tell you this much. People who are put in because of affirmative action will never outnumber the people that were there already. It will never be 50-50. It will never be 50 you were here, legacy, 50 you are new, we're just putting you in. Because then you could measure how did the quality of work drop since the new people came in. But if you put 20% in and the other 80%, they stop performing their duties because they're disgruntled by the people that they feel like they don't deserve to be there, then that's when the quality of work drops. Then you can always blame it on the new guy.
Sure.
You know what I love listening to this? Like, these are always the moments when somebody like walks into a room and there's comedians talking, and then I'll always hear them say, I thought you guys told more jokes.
Yeah.
No. I've always wondered. I was just listening to you guys now, and I was like, it's really interesting to me how comedians, no matter where they are in the world, will always get into is it the anomalies? Is it the inconsistencies? Is it the, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe just like,
no, I was just listening to this now and I was going, it's funny how, because comedy, let's think of it this way, because comedy is like the icing on a cake. It's sweet. It's generally very delicious. It's easy to consume. And people often think that the raw ingredient for it is also that in that way. And I know sugar cane is, please don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, I'm watching this right now. And no, forgive me. It made me wonder. It's like, I wonder if like you get into comedy because you're seeing an inconsistent world, or if part of comedy helps you process the inconsistency of the world.
Maybe. I mean, I imagine it's like if you're a singer, right? And you're like, I can do something real weird with my throat.
Yeah.
I could do something real weird with my voice. And then you do it to drums and people are like, I think I'd pay to see that. It's like you fall into the thing.
No, but I mean the
sometimes.
thinking of it. Like, okay, let me ask you this question. When was the first time in your life when you can remember thinking this doesn't make sense?
Okay. So you know how this is two moments that stick out to me. You know how the dentist gives you a lollipop?
Yeah. You see? There you go.
And I was like, hey,
So
my
later.
man, what you doing? Well, you try to catch me slipping? I didn't have any cavities, and now you giving me sugar? This is crazy.
How old were you when you had this thought?
Maybe 10. I don't know. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but
like
but you see what I mean? It's like something like that. What was the first thing you can remember thinking, this does not make sense?
I think it was when I was watching my grandfather and my parents watching the news and believing all of it.
You were watching them watch the news?
Yes, and they were believing all of it. Because in my head, I was like, this what they're saying here didn't happen here.
Wait, what?
Wherever this happened, whatever they were saying in the news, they were like, in Soweto, wherever, I was like, yeah, where we are, everything is fine. So,
so you were going...
Yeah, so it was burning on TV.
Okay,
and
got it.
at that place. And I'm sure by now they've extinguished the fire. Because the 7 o'clock news is dark outside.
That's
but
so
when they
funny.
shot the news,
this is actually really
the sun
funny.
was out.
So funny.
Then I was
This is actually really funny.
Why are we worried about the emotions as if it's happening outside and if it's happening now? Then I'd watch them getting emotionally invested at 7 o'clock about, so bad out there.
That's fascinating. So you were thrown by the fact... I mean, it's extremely logical as well. Because you're going, it's not burning outside.
No. It's not even, the sun is not even out anymore.
Yeah, it's daytime in the news.
Yes.
But it's nighttime now.
Yes. And everyone who was supposed to do their job did it. The fire trucks were there. The cameras were there. The reporter filed the story.
And so you were
put on a
there.
jacket. Yeah.
That's
in fact, in my head, I was like, the reporter that reported on the story is also home watching the news now.
You know what's so funny about this is that it's the third level of the thing. I thought you were just going to say, why they believe in everything? Because people lie sometimes. That's just even much more of a child thing.
Yeah, no.
You're like, no. The car that was on fire has clearly been extinguished by now.
Long ago. Insurance has been contacted. The claim is being processed. Now we're just waiting for opening hours for tomorrow so you can look at another car if you really want one. But I would watch the real emotion and my parents being invested on some, there's bad out there. And I'm like, no, it's great in here. We're watching these people. Our car is not burning.
And that's when your brain at that point is just going, this doesn't make sense.
Yes. And also because I think when I started exploring comedy, I realized that's what people are doing. They're reacting to something that I say that's not real. I say things and then they're like, yeah, Ned. And I'm like, yeah. And I think that's why maybe we see comedians unable to fight extremism when people are being extreme about their views and ideas and rallying people and filling up arenas and domes and people are just coming to listen to them in social media. We can't say anything. We can't fight that because we're essentially doing the same thing, but we're doing it on a happy side. We're galvanizing people to come into a room, to laugh. But there's on the other end of it, it has never been like it is now, where you find in the other side of things, the same arena.
Oh, that's
2 weeks from now.
I would agree with that. Actually,
There's someone who's
Yeah.
going, "We are getting the guns. We are going to fight."
Yeah. There's a different type. It's man, that's an interesting thought. There is like a. It feels like at least more and more places in the world have an economy, or there's like a circuit around anger and hatred in a way that it didn't exist
Yes, because
for a long time.
troublemaking, thanks to stand-up, has become performative. So if you look at all the rallies of all people stirring up what we call trouble,
Yeah.
they also have a stage.
Yeah.
They
And they
don't
tell
have-
jokes, by the way.
And now they don't have paper anymore in
Yeah,
their
yeah.
hand.
Yeah,
and
no, they tell jokes
They
as
mess
well.
around, play music a little bit, mess around, and get people
Yeah.
worked up.
Some
All
of them tell
us-
the same jokes.
I mean, they
Yes.
do it. They
Yeah.
work it like a set.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember back in the day, and I mean, he still sort of does it now, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now he's like retired. Trump used to work out bits
Yeah.
on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
So he would say something, he would do it, and then he'd go, "I used to say that and it didn't work. I used to say it didn't
Yeah.
work. Now it works."
Mm-hmm.
The one that he had was I'm trying to think of which one he had. I think it was Crooked Hillary or one of those, but he had a previous version.
Yeah. Cricket Hillary.
And he had a version and it was like it didn't hit.
But he found the one.
And then he found like
The
a
hook.
switch and he changed it. But he said, which was interesting to me, he said at a rally,
Yes.
I used to say it like this and people didn't respond.
Yeah.
Now I say it like this and they do respond.
Yes. But stand-up was the original research and development of how to become extreme in an idea. When people say, okay, there's no paper, just a microphone, just stage, just give me a group of people, don't sit down even, just stand up, let's do this thing. Because music did not have the same impact as now when you have a singular person trying to convince a horde of people to take action. But the action now is the other way around. It's no longer just go home and
not
be
an
happy.
action to happiness.
Yes, because also stand-up did a lot to remind people how great their lives are. But this form of extremism, which is performative as well, is doing a lot to remind people how shitty their lives are. Or else we would make fun of someone who has a normal 9-to-5 job. These people are saying, why do you have a normal 9-to-5 job?
Don't press anything. We've got more What Now after this. It's amazing how powerful it is when you switch it. It's funny. I was, because you are in a moment right now that's amazing and it's new and it's obviously being looked at from so many different places. So like it's Josh Johnson, the magazines look at you, the entertainment industry looks at you. And then people often phone me and they go, what do you think of what Josh is doing? And they all have a different lens through which they wish to see it. What do you think it means for the entertainment industry? What do you think it means for comedy? What do you think it means for? And I remember once I was trying to think of this for myself. And I went, one of the things you're doing with your stand-up, like the sets that you're doing now every single week on YouTube, is in a crazy way. I was like, you're also just like establishing a bit of reality. I don't know if you've noticed that. And I don't know if you're doing it on purpose.
I mean, some people say that. What I'm trying to do is be like, this thing, like, what we have become, I think is a problem. Like as comedians and what we mean to people and what we and how we like structure our careers around that thing. I think that people are playing games right now that are gonna bite them eventually, where you play with people who are struggling, you play with people who are like based on like even no fault of their own, but a systemic level, they are mentally unstable. You play with people whose only hope is something that is like, in the ether as a conspiracy.
Yeah.
You play with all that, you make your money, and then you think you go home. But especially if you're chasing money, especially if you like money, and especially if you can't stay at home, you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And then you become a different thing to them than you can ever get back. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And so like, I think if I stay as much of a stand-up as I can, and obviously sometimes I talk about politics, but my thing is that I talk about everything. So the people who think that I talk about one thing, I can tell what videos they've watched. I've been told by people that I only talk about Black culture. Then I've been told by other people I only talk about Trump. Then I've been told from other people that I do like regular jokes again.
Yeah.
Then I am told by people that they're like, I love your stories. I love this story, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think, and this is, I'm not upset about it or whatever, but I don't think that people people are fitting into the picture that I am trying to, and as a result, talking about everything.
Yeah, but you see, this is, I do get upset about it, not just on your behalf, but on society's behalf. One of the best things I ever learned was from a friend who was a computer scientist, and he taught me about a concept known as the second system effect. And he said, whenever you're programming, one of the things you learn as a coder is when you change one aspect, you might think you're fixing one thing. You don't realize the second system effect that is created by that. You've created a second system, and the effect of that is something that you may not have been aware of, you know? I think of that with algorithms. We used to live in a world where the broadcast was decided by a few and it went to the many. So one news network, 100 million people would watch it. One journalist, 50 million people would know them. You know, one newspaper could define a whole country's trajectory. And then over time, that started diminishing, like their power started going down. But what also started happening is it started diffusing. So there'd be more newspapers, more news agencies, more television shows, more movies. So there's more who have less power, more who have less power. This is a good thing because reality shouldn't be defined by one person or one small group. But then we get to the point of the algorithm. And the algorithm does this on steroids. It becomes super, super, super tuned to getting as few people as possible, or rather as many people as possible, an opportunity to talk to as many people as possible. And you like cut down where the message goes from and who it goes to. It's like it's diffused. You know what I mean? It's like everyone can say it to everyone everywhere. But then what it also does is it says, I'm just going to give you this slice of the reality. You know what I mean? So now Josh Johnson's out there trying to be the full human being who is Josh Johnson. The algorithm goes, I noticed, Trevor, that you really liked Josh Johnson's stories about hair. I'm just going to give you all of his hair stuff. Just you and him, afros. That's all I'm giving you. And then it goes, Eugene, I noticed you liked the thing when Josh Johnson was talking about working in a grocery store. I'm just going to give you his retail stuff. And now you extrapolate this into politics and views on the world. And what's crazy and terrifying to me is that there's a person out there who only knows one slither of Josh Johnson. And as you said, they either have contempt or compassion for that person or that side of you.
Right.
And I go, as we get to the second system effect of everything going to everyone in the most perfect way, you don't have one big broadcast, you have a billion small broadcasts. But those billion small broadcasts are only your world now. And where before you had to share a world where a car was burning for everyone, your family is watching the news. Now you watch the news, you watch the news, you watch it. Everyone in the house is watching different news, but they're all living in the same house. And I genuinely, the reason I'm upset about it is not like anger. I'm almost terrified because I go, what does that do to us when we don't see the full complexity of each other? Like you and I talk about this all the time. I go, I want to live in a world where more people see friends disagree. Because we make it seem like people disagree because they don't live in the same world. You know, like when you walked in today, we were watching videos on the internet about mediums and psychics and all of that stuff. And I said to you as my friend, I was like, hey man, I don't believe this. But there's also something here that I don't get. There's something I don't get. And I'm not going to say it's not real, but I'm letting you know my current position is I don't believe this. And then you're going, I do believe this. And let me tell you why. And we're sharing this with, but we don't exist on, like opposite ends of anything. There are some parts of you that are far away from me. And there are some parts of you that I can't separate from my own skin. We are the same in that way. And that's a big thing that worries me is I go, imagine if somebody like Josh Johnson, who in my opinion is one of the kindest, most caring, most considerate people, imagine if they could slice you into slithers of an idea, what are they doing to the rest of everyone in a society? Do you know what I mean?
Sure. And also through the structure of like what keeps you on, they follow behavior. So because they follow behavior, we assume that everyone always wants to be agreed with. Some people actually, and the algorithms have already figured this out because it happens to me. It's like some people through being curious about what other people think are served nothing but bad, like I would just say bad stuff.
Oh man,
that I don't
that
agree
happened
with.
to my Twitter.
So then it's like it then makes me feel like, oh, everyone's so angry and hateful and then this is okay. No one's on board with this idea. I've talked about this idea with friends. I did this idea at a show.
Go.
Right?
All right, go.
I was like, guys, well, they found now. It's like they finished a study that half the internet is bots. Isn't that great? And then everybody's like, why would that be great? I'm like, guys, there's way less Nazis than we thought. Imagine if you thought there was a room with 100 Nazis in it and it's 2. 2's still bad, but 2's not 100. And then one of my friends was saying, but yeah, isn't it horrible though that somebody would go to the trouble of engineering the troll farm to make us think there's more Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, that's still not as bad as 100 actual Nazis. If you had 100 cakes at your door that said the N-word and 2 Nazis, you'd be way less scared than if there were 100 Nazis at your door.
With 2 cakes.
Yeah, with 2 cakes.
Yeah, we got to keep the cakes.
We got to keep the cakes. But like the fact that this bot problem is actually so big, it both means that like, to me, at least, I could be wrong.
I like this. No, I like this view. I'm actually on board with this, actually. It's an optimistic way of looking at it.
It also means that the companies also like are artificially propping themselves up. We think that they are like the full, purveyors might be the right word, but that they are the full end all be all of human connection now. And that would be advantageous for us to believe that, because we would then go to them for the communication.
Yeah.
First of all, everyone forgets outside. If you go outside, the fact that people, even in New York, people talk about New York, most people are so much more polite than any internet comment section would ever have you believe.
Yes, definitely.
People bump into me, they apologize.
Because you're carrying nunchucks, of course.
Yeah, 100%. Let the hair get frizzy. But I just find that thing clued me in that, okay, now I already try to take a beat. I already to my detriment don't get angry enough about bad things happening in real time, even when they happen to me. Sometimes someone's rude to me and then they walk away and then I'm like, actually, that wasn't okay, right? I already try to take a step back as my like personal. Now I take a second step back, especially when I'm online, because I'm like, is this person real? Now that sort of thing could drive a person crazy. But to me, because I'm also being served so much like hateful stuff, and because hateful stuff is more engaging than love, it does then make me go, okay, what's the likelihood that people spreading love are bots and people spreading hate are bots? This is a hateful thing that I see. And it also isn't like original. This is how I feel like I'm getting good at picking out the bots. Because then when something racist happens and they're like, we should get him fired for his job. And then they're like, probably doesn't have a job to fire from. And then the next 3 people are like, probably doesn't have a job to fire from. Probably doesn't have a job to fire from. I'm like, maybe this is like one angry person.
That's just being multiple. Yeah.
Maybe no racist people. Who knows? Because the comments are racist. The other person's just angry. They're like, we should get him fired from his job. This is insane. Right? And so now it's like, it changed my like outlook on the world in a way that might be naive, and it might be a little bit like wishful thinking, but it still is like information that I'm basing my worldview
I think it's the right way to see it. Actually, it's like finding. You know, we've had a lot of conversations on the podcast with different. I mean, everyone from doctors who are here to talk about how to find the best in your kids. We talk to world leaders. One of the common threads I find is like finding the hope. And what you're saying ties back into that is finding, you have to find that thing. You got to find, you were hopeful enough to eat the second slice of pizza. And desperate. Fourth? Yeah, fourth.
The 3 were the night before.
Yeah, but I like this. What type of pizza was it, by the way?
It was just pepperoni pizza. There's no reason for this to be poison.
Can you eat pepperoni pizza today?
Yes, because, okay, I've been poisoned many times, but there are certain types of
This
poisoning.
man said it like a badge of, that's how Josh was like, I have been poisoned many times.
There was a time in my life where if food was $2.50, I would eat it no matter what. That was the most adventurous I've ever been. Now when I actually go places and someone's like, "Oh, try this, it's a delicacy," but it look a little bit like squid guts, I'm like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But if it had been $2.50 in 2014 in Chicago, I'd be like, hey, bottoms up, right? And so the time I got poisoned at the Chinese place, it took me years and years and years to eat Chinese again.
Huh.
Because everything about the feeling, everything about the smell,
about
the violent,
yeah,
whatever. Now it got to a point for a year. Anytime I passed like any sort of Szechuan place, I was like, I could feel it coming.
Oh man, I'm so hungry now. You just got me hungry. You just said Szechuanese food. I started thinking of pig trotters. Are you in, Eugene? I don't even think you understand. You just, oh man, sorry, your pain. Tell us about your pain again.
But it's just,
I apologize,
I've
Josh.
never drank in my life, but it's the closest.
Wait, whoa.
No, what?
Whoa.
What?
Can't just,
I thought you knew.
you can't just drop bombs like that in your life? I knew you don't drink.
No, I never drank.
You have never consumed alcohol?
No.
Nothing. Even in church, nothing.
No, we didn't go to that type of church. We
yeah,
were
bro.
grape juice.
There's some churches that give you the blood of Jesus and it's wine.
Yeah, some are wine. We had Welch's.
Oh, the grape juice.
Grape juice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Never consumed. We're not talking about never drunk. Never consumed alcohol. Is there a reason for this?
Yeah. So initially, I was definitely, before I was like of age, too scared to get in trouble.
Okay, cool.
Then I was like not. Then I really went to this transition where I became known as like the sober guy.
Okay.
Like that'll be the guy who like walks you back to your dorm, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I was
Josh.
broke.
Josh.
So then I was broke.
Yeah.
But then this is also what made me useless though, is that I can't drive. So then I couldn't even be the designated driver.
man.
I would just be in the car with the designated driver and everybody else sitting in the back sick. And I'm like, y'all paid too much for this. You know what I mean? So then I moved to Chicago.
Yeah,
I didn't
that
have
story,
money.
can I just say, that story takes on a whole new complexity of annoying. It's one thing for somebody to be hanging out with you at a party, drinking with you, being like, have you guys noticed how much we pay for this alcohol? We could be paying way less. No, sober Josh is just standing there pointing at your drink, being like, you could have saved $50. You could have saved $25. You could have saved $17. All right. Shotgun. This is so wild.
And then when I moved to Chicago, I didn't have money to afford to like a new thing. And then after I moved to New York, I felt like, even though I was still in like my mid-20s, I felt like I had missed a little bit of the boat. And that if I were to find out, because the way you find your drink and the way you find out how much you can drink is through trial and error.
Definitely.
And the errors get less and less cute the older you get.
This is true.
And so now I'm like, I missed it. Because now also,
so there's no like curiosity even that makes you, and I'm not advocating for it, by the way.
No, not really.
I'm intrigued by this.
The other reason was that I was like, I don't think I can do anything like smoke or drink or any of that. Especially like it was like a focus thing as well, because I was like, I want to be able to take care of my mom, take care of my aunt, and like, just like make sure that they're good.
Yeah.
Right. Because like, and especially after like my dad passed and everything. And so then anything like that just seemed like a potential distraction. And just from the outside looking in, I had never seen anyone be their best self drunk, even the happy drunks.
Right.
There were some people that are like, oh, he's so fun when he's drunk. And I'm like, y'all know he's like fun regular, right?
Yeah.
Like you just got to ask him the right questions. And
how old were you when your dad passed?
26. I think 26. I could have been 25.
Did you feel like that? Because I'm listening to you, and it sounds like to me it jolted you into like a different type of manhood or responsibility than you felt before.
Yeah, especially because I was now going to like hopefully live longer than my dad.
Damn.
And so now it's like I already had. What felt crazy to me is that my dad pretty much, if I have the math right, I was the age my dad was when he had me when he died. So if I'm like 25, 26, I'm pretty sure he had me at 25, 26. So just as I was like gaining an appreciation for what my dad must have been going through and have a kid, I like lose my dad. And so these are conversations I never end up getting to have with him of like, hey, just so you know, like I get you a little bit more now. I know what I can't know what it was like to be a baby with me.
Yeah.
I can't know what it was like to have like annoying cries that are like, eh? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm inquisitive. I can't go back in time and like really get it, but I'm starting to get it because I can't imagine having to like deal with what you and my mom dealt with when you were my age.
Right.
Me being this now. Then losing my dad, I was like, oh yeah, like anybody can go. So now I make sure, or at least do my best to like, I'm still not perfect at it, but like everyone that I love, I let them know all the time and I don't worry about being embarrassed. Cause it's like, I told my dad I loved him the last time and wasn't feeling sure that he heard me. You know what I mean? And I had the opportunity to tell my dad that I loved him plenty of times before he got sick. And so it's like, I never want to waste that again on anybody. And like I've lost people since then and got to feel at least somewhat better because every time, I'm not saying this to freak you out, but it's like every time I leave someone, I'm like, they could die.
Yeah, that
or
does
I
freak
could
me
die.
out.
So like, I'm sorry.
Don't put that juju on me, Ricky
But
Bobby.
I'll tell you I love you all the
Josh.
time.
I
Just
love
so
you too.
know.
Yeah, you know I love you too.
Yeah.
But don't put that juju on me.
No, 100%. Look, look, we're going to live forever. That's literally why I say it all the time. I say every time people will be like, are you hurt? I'm going to live forever. When I fall, people are like, ooh, that looked bad. I'm going to live forever.
It explains a lot of your, like, I don't know, man. You've always had a beautiful, like we used to come back from shows and you would look at me and you'd be like, hey man, thank you for that. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's why I'm shocked that you don't drink, because I genuinely thought some of those times, I don't mean this in a shitty way. I swear on my life.
I'm with you.
You had the sincerity of a slightly inebriated person.
And I also stopped talking.
Yeah.
And I realized I did the same thing to Colin Kaepernick. When I met Colin Kaepernick, I was like, hey man, you and me.
Yeah, and that's what you do.
And it's
so
like
Josh will look at you, say something, not finish a sentence, but his intonation will make it seem like something was coming. So he'll look at me and be like, hey man, I just wanted to say thank you. Then I'll be like, oh, for what? You know.
Do you know?
No, I do know.
No, and then it's I mean, I've known you for years now, but back then I was just like, oh man, I was like, my man's, he's had a few. It's been a night, it's been a journey, and I appreciate him still. And so, I mean, it must be, I can only imagine what it must be like for your mom, though, seeing this. Because there's no mom who doesn't enjoy seeing their child fly.
Especially when you quit the grocery store. Especially when you're like, Mom, I think I got this. And she's like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not my mom never, like, my mom was very supportive, believed in me, all the things. But any mom is going to be, especially any black mom, is going to be pragmatic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If your mom supports you going into comedy, I don't know if you've got a great mom. I'm going to be honest. Your mom should support you doing comedy as like a side. But if your mom,
that's what I'm saying. Yes,
if you go, Mom, I'm quitting my job to do comedy, and your mom's like, good for you. I don't know if your mom actually likes you. I'm going to be honest. Most moms, all moms should just be like, do that for fun. And
I told my mom that I got the job at Tonight Show, and she was even still like, okay, and that's enough money to. She was still like,
is it still like,
and this is good.
You can
like,
survive.
You know what I mean? You'll be taking care of yourself. And so it's like, even for something that she knows, because I watched the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson when I was little. Like I don't even remember some of this stuff, and she will tell it to me that she's like, you cried so hard. I think I was like late to school when they announced on like the Today Show that Johnny Carson wasn't gonna, or whatever morning show. Yeah, I watched Johnny Carson. I loved Johnny Carson so much. And so I like cried, and I'm like, I don't remember this at all. And she's like, yeah, you were like 4 or whatever. Or like I was like little, and I don't even know if it was the announcement so much as me finding out. But it was like, Johnny Carson and Big Bird got like tear me up, right? And so then I think that for her, seeing me do well, and especially seeing what we've built, like we have a real community of people who come to the show, like to laugh, take a break, and like people really take care of each other and everything. And people are like, obviously, like internet's internet, so there's gonna be like mean comments, whatever. But for the most part, like people are like so kind. They're very kind towards me, and they're kind towards each other. And it's like everything. I'm hopefully making everything that would make her, happy when she sees it. And she's seen it a few times now, and now she's seen it a couple times as my show. And so then she sees like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so even though she'll still whatever, if I swear, bro, when I tell you, I don't even like curse like that. I don't even curse. But if I let anything slip, she's like, I heard that B word. You think that's
banana?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it'll be like any cursing is just like is like she clocks it, right?
Right.
But I think that now for her, seeing that I'm doing well, seeing I'm okay, and like once again, I can take care of her, I can take care of my aunt, and like they can ask me for things, and it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because that's been like the dream. Like people would say, like even when people said I was like good at comedy, I'd be like, I'm not good at comedy till like my mom is taken care of.
Man, that's beautiful.
Because then it's like
Yeah.
now you've reached some sort of goal, right? Like now you're like, because funny is like, this is the thing about like the hubris behind comedy sometimes I think even gets comedians trapped in. And I think why so many comedians leaned into politics in the way of wanting to be attached and not just wanting to comment. Because wanting to comment is like what we're supposed to do. Being attached is like, now you're entering now you're like a mouthpiece. When you're like in with them, you got to be very careful because now you're talking about your friend.
Because you have to know them.
Yeah.
No, but that's actually true. You're talking about your friend, and now you can't tell the truth.
Now you can't tell the truth because you're like, no, I was there.
Yeah.
And he didn't mean it that way that it came out. So I know it's ridiculous.
The
but
funny
like,
thing is, they're not your friend.
They're not your friend.
That's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize in these situations. It's like you'll cozy up to a politician, right? They'll cozy up to you, but they're not your friend. Unless they are, but most of the time they're not. You're so enjoying the proximity to power, that you're quick to go like, they're my friend. And it's like, they're your friend? It's like, yeah, I love them. They're cool. They're this, they're that. And then when the power does something that you don't agree with, people are like, why is your friend doing this? Now you're like, well, I mean, they're not my friend. I don't like
yeah, exactly.
I don't like know them like that. I mean, but it's like, but you told us. You vouched for them and you said they were great.
I'll even tell you this right now. If you want a politician to be your friend, you got to find a powerless politician. That person being genuine. That person, the person who's like, y'all, they blocked me. I can't like an alderman, city council, they probably your friend.
That's
they
like your friend.
Yeah. But like once you get to high up, once you get to prime minister, once you get to like president, once you get to people with like real power and a stake and an image that they use to like catapult them to the next thing, you got to be very careful. Because look, what's his name? I'm sure Rodney Dangerfield was friends with Reagan or who, like, you know what I mean? Like,
might have been. You
might have been buddies,
been.
you know? So then he does whatever, I don't think it was White House Correspondents' Dinner back then, but he does whatever roasting thing, and then like the president at the time's eating it up. It's like, they might be friends. And then you also have to factor in like celebrity to it too, of like, maybe this president that's what's happening with the fighters now. Like now these fighters will go to a country and hang out with like the country's dictator.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like friends. And then the fighter gets back to the US and he's like, hey, he skins people, right? It's like, what? He just wanted to take the picture and go, like that's why I went. And it's like, why would you go? Well, he paid me $100,000. It's like, oh, you know what I mean?
You didn't check. So when you're building this world of yours, what are you building towards, and what are you trying to build away from?
I think and I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it on stage. It's like, I think when your life is over, when everything is done, the only real measure of a man is like what you build and what you break. And so it's like, I'd like to build up a lot of like goodwill things that I think that people still have in them, but they just don't exist as much just for free in the ether. And I'd like to like break some ideas that people have of each other, even though that's going to be hard because, like you said, it's like the algorithm doesn't aid in those things. The same way you think you can use a politician and they're using you, I think algorithms work the same way.
Oh, no, definitely.
Where you're like, no, I've gamed it because I'm always nice. And it's like, well, first of all, no one is always nice. And sometimes you're willing to be nasty about someone who's being nasty, or sometimes you have a very human moment. Now, just like the problem that we have now that we refuse to accept, because as soon as the thing becomes about you, it takes you out of the game a little bit, is that you watch reality TV. And now we know enough to know these people have been coached, or these people are being produced to be the most entertained version of themselves. Sometimes the most entertained version of themselves is the worst version of themselves. And now algorithms and platforms are doing all of that to us. We are not our worst moment. We are also not our like marriage proposal. No one is as cute as sweet as nasty as whatever. Even if you put a bunch of that stuff out, no one is one thing, right? Whatever it is, good or bad. And so I think that now you could look at every person. We literally call them channels. You have a YouTube channel. You have a Instagram page. You have a book about you being written. You have a TV show about you being produced. And those things work the same way. Even if you're like, well, no, I control it because it's mine. You don't control who it goes out to and how it goes out. And then one thing that I've noticed is like the favorite things that people say they're the favorite that I've done are never the thing that, not only never the thing I think it would be, never the thing that is the most popular. One of the favorite like videos I've had that people have ever put out, that I've ever put out that people come to me about, is this one that I just did like on a whim, just to put it out for fun. It wasn't even a Tuesday video. I was like, I think it was extra.
It was like a Thursday video.
Yeah. And I was like, it's called The Priest and the Pickle. And it's just a time in my life where I had a conversation with a priest and a guy who was like a pickle juice thief. And it's like that thing is for a lot of people. Some people say you talk about Trump, you talk about black culture, you talk about. But if we talk about favorite, for whatever reason, that thing pierced through. I think anything that I put out that people connect to is hopefully, and I think by virtue of what people tell me, is the thing where I'm being hopefully like the most human. And so I'm not interested in being right. I'm not interested in being like, into bringing the country into like whatever political form. I just like want to remind everybody that like, at least in this aspect and to real world consequence, you are being produced. So whatever you watch, whatever you do, take it with a grain of salt. Could this be a bot? Also, am I being served something because of how I'm feeling? The same way that like if you're with your girl and your girl knows that you're upset, and she also knows what you're upset about, she's gonna bring you a different thing. So sometimes it's like you just had a bad day. I'll make you a little something. Or if someone did something to you, hey, we need to talk because I can tell you need to talk it out. Algorithms are serving you the same way. We give AI and AI that doesn't even exist yet all the credit of intelligence and manipulation that we should be giving the algorithms that already serve us. And so I just like, hopefully, even in being manipulated by it, even in serving the machine to hopefully like serve the people, some good can come out of that. But like, there's so much more that I need to do. Like, I think I should just be like writing a lot of this down and making it like hopefully a book. Because then a book is like harder to, you only saw the snippet of the book.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. People don't clip books.
Yeah. And it's like, and even when you do, it's like, all right, that's boring. Like even when somebody tries to like clip like
it doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't hit.
It never hits the same.
Even when it's like a slam dunk,
it does not hit the same.
It's like
you got to read it in your head.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Yeah, and then now I said it.
You see,
that's the most annoying thing. I don't know if you say that, but like that is a real phenomenon that's happening. Somebody finally reads anything, and they go. It's like when someone repeats your idea back to you. Because they weren't listening, but they were listening enough for it to go in.
And then they say it.
That's what people do. You should do that with reading, but people do it with reading like they're the expert. Like, actually, now that I think about it, my whole 8th grade science book was really my idea. I don't even know why you teach in the class. Like that. Like that's the hubris. Like that's the crazy attitude that people have now. And it's why people are like, don't trust experts sometimes, because it's like, well, I also am well read about this. And it's like, you're not well labbed about it. You haven't clocked the hours.
I think,
know what I mean?
Only when you speak to comics do you realize that, one, we're privileged in more ways than we can ever imagine. And I think right now we're living in a world where we've over-ordered from the menu and now we don't know what to eat first. Because I think I think of social media, I'm like, you can erase all the apps and just leave the one that you like to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And also, it's social media, not interactive media.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not using it to socialize with people that you want to socialize with, you're the one opening up the door for people that you don't want in your life.
Yeah, now it socializes you.
Yes, but I also think the more time you have in your hands, the more you earn, the more time we have, and this debate has been going around since the beginning of time. Well, it was big with fast food. Remember when people would say, yeah, you're eating junk food, you're eating unhealthy. Then people were like, maybe I like it, and maybe that's all I can afford.
Yeah.
And it's also the same with what people call trash television.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's the same trend.
People just want to...
you're not wrong.
Yeah, they just want to watch that. They just, if you feel like you know that Kim Kardashian doesn't look like that all the time, that's good for you. But they just want to watch. They want to watch shows about marriages not working out because theirs is probably not working out as well, so they don't want to feel alone. But I also feel like I feel the same about organized sports, the same way some people feel about social media and the comments and the bots and reality television. Because if all sports was real, why is it that when match fixing happens, it's a scandal?
What sport? Like what match
For example,
fixing for what sport?
We had a case in South Africa where it was a huge one. South African cricket team.
All sport is real. Say that statement again.
So here, in reality television, you and I can always say it's overproduced. There's some acting going on over there. So, but for someone else, it's reality. Kim Kardashian looks like that all the time. People who love sports, organized sports, think those people show up at that time, they get paid this much, at 8 o'clock, they're going to play for 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it's real. The tackle was real. The goal was, the dive was real. Until match fixing happens. And then someone realizes that match that they spoke about with their friends with such conviction,
that player
2 years ago, all of that, someone was paid to take a dive or to pretend that they were hurt. So if in that reality we go, real organized sports is real. The same way someone feels about reality television.
It is their reality.
It is their reality.
I think I'll just pitch you this. I do think the difference though is that even in a fixed match, nobody like flies. Like this, all the all the stuff that would happen in a match still happen. There are people who literally get pissed off and
this guy
produced.
just said nobody flies.
Yeah, because like if you were like, sports isn't real the way reality TV is.
No,
real.
we compared the Kardashians and a soccer match.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So with the Kardashians, right? There's a chance that Kim's not even that mad at Khloe, but she's now been produced to almost come to blows with her sister, which is not like real because it's not based off a real conflict and it's not something that would have happened if we weren't looking.
Yes.
Everything that happens, even in a fixed match, even if you just paid the ref, they still shot the ball, they still kicked the ball, they still did the stuff. So it's like, yes, it's still, to me, it's just as real because whether someone takes a dive or not is like, it almost doesn't factor into the equation because you also don't know who's like, if the keeper's girlfriend broke up with him and now he's like distracted so he's not playing at his best. It's like, it's still, all the stuff that was going to happen still happen in a way that in reality TV, you can tell. Sometimes they pick the sweetest people and then they get them to yell things that they would, like, they mess with your mind to the point. And I think that with sports is at least like, nah, he was always going to try to kick it in. He just tried less because like somebody paid him.
What I'm hearing you both say, funny enough, I know we're gonna have to wrap up soon anyway, but like I don't think you're saying something too different. And I think you know what it is? It's
choreography.
No, but more than that, it's just, it goes back to the question I asked you about like your first experience as a young child doing what you sort of now do as a stand-up comedian. And it's the challenge that we all face in the world. You have to watch the people around you watch the news. And you have to deal with the paradox of what they're experiencing versus the reality that's actually outside. Right? You have to find a way to bridge that divide. And then on the other side, in a similar world, it's like, go to the dentist. Go to the dentist. But also ask yourself why they gave you a lollipop.
Yeah. No, that you did it. You brought it all home. This that I feel like is what we should all do.
Josh Johnson, this was dope, man.
This was great, man. I miss you.
I miss you too. I don't
to
miss
see
you
you.
as much as you miss me because I see you all the time on the internet, which is great for me.
Oh,
But
thanks,
it's bad
man.
because then I don't get to hang out with you like this.
Yeah. We can hang out anytime I'm in town.
Yeah, that's never.
No, it's
That's
like
a traveling comedian's way of saying like, see a sucker.
No,
We can hang out anytime I'm around.
I'm here 4 days a week now.
I still need to go to a UFC match with you. That's all I want. I still say this is the channel that the world deserves.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson commentating on UFC. This man single-handedly got me into UFC, and I have never enjoyed a match as much as I have when he. You should. Have you ever tried doing one of those like second screen type things?
Oh no, I haven't.
I mean, maybe don't because you love UFC. I don't want to spoil the thing that you love, but
Yeah,
let me tell you something, man.
especially in 2020, man.
Let me tell you something. This guy, UFC, you don't even understand.
I would have never met
Josh
him.
would make me think I know.
UFC.
By the time the fight starts, I would be like, Khabib, let me tell you about Khabib. You don't even understand, man. Oh, so here's the thing you got to understand about Dagestani wrestling, right? So you see the Dagestani technique, and I'd be like, where did this come from? And then Josh is just there in the corner like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. You got to do it. You really do.
Dude, I'm telling you, especially in 2020, that was a good time to get in because there were no crowds. You got to see what like a fight was like because you could hear them.
No, you could hear them.
You could hear them.
Yes.
So not only could you hear them, you could hear when they were surprised about what was happening. I'll never forget when Kevin Holland fought, and I don't remember who grabbed him. Somebody grabbed him, and he went. Like, he's not on mic. The cameras are over the cage. So the cameras pick him up going, oh, you strong. Like, but you're like, this is a professional elite fighter.
Do you remember the other one? Wait, there was another one that you showed me. Oh man, it was similar to this. Someone turns to their corner in the fight it was the same time. There's like no crowd.
Yeah.
And he like turns and he's like, I don't know what to do. Like in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. He's like in the middle of the fight. He's like, hey, like y'all said, like it was so good. And then the other one that we were laughing, we were like crying about is this, because heavyweight fights are also like, these are the biggest, most dangerous men in the world.
Yeah.
But they're also scared of each other.
Yes.
So it's like
Because they also see a big man.
now they're
trying
like,
to fight
that's a
them.
big guy. And remember when we were in the car and we had missed the actual fight because we were like traveling for it, and it was in, I think, Abu Dhabi, so it was a different time and everything. And anyway, the heavyweight dude kicked, kicked like oblique kick, and the other guy went and then he started walking away.
He just walked away.
He just walked away.
Like he was like, I'm going home.
Even the ref is like the ref starts running to try to stop it because you're like, you got to intelligently defend yourself and everything.
Yeah.
But even the ref was like, what is he doing? And then the dude like hit him once, and then he, but he was still holding his side, and you would never hear the like, and now because of COVID, they've actually brought back a lot more like ringside, coach corner. Like they had some of it before,
I've
but
seen
now
that
they're
in
like
fell in love with it now.
they're bringing it more in.
I'm telling you, Josh, you got to do it, man.
But yeah,
Josh Johnson, UFC commentator and part-time nunchuck user.
Ow.
He walks the streets at night. His afro casting a menacing silhouette. Hello? Who is that? Hello?
Ow.
Are you the guy from the grocery store? Josh Johnson is nunchuck. Thank you so much for watching the episode. If you enjoyed it, pass it on to a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, pass it on to your friend still. Let them suffer for a change. And don't forget to engage with us in the comments. If you want to suggest a guest, maybe there's questions you want, maybe there's ideas that you have, you can chat to us. We will read through the comments and we'll get into it. Either way, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for hanging out with us on What Now? And remember, we do this for you, so we would like to hear from you. Until next time, thank you.